So just real quickly, I see many students out there today. We want to welcome our students. It's very exciting to see you all on Zoom. We like seeing you a little bit more in person. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and turn those cameras on. We'd love to see your faces. If you don't want to, no pressure, no problem, but we're certainly glad that you all are here. Want to say welcome. I saw a few community members that had signed on today to learn about manufacturing here in our region and manufacturing programs offered by VHCC. Welcome to our community members. I want to say a special welcome to our employers. We're going to introduce them in just a few moments, but I want to really thank our employers for being here this morning. VHCC works very hard to create the workforce that you need, and we certainly can't do that alone. You know, it's programs like this that you invest in that help us to help our students, that make those things work. We know you're busy, and we know that you're taking time out of your schedule this morning to invest in this and invest in our workforce and invest in our students. So we thank you this morning. I also real quickly want to thank Mandy Barker. Mandy, if you don't mind, just to give us a wave so everyone can see your face this morning. And Lenny Gale Mitchum. These ladies work with the Southwest Virginia for Alliance of Manufacturing, and we appreciate the work that SVAM does to promote manufacturing here in our region. And Mandy, I know that you've worked very hard to help us put this event on today, so all of my thanks to you, Mandy. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking, and Mandy, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I think you're going to introduce our employer and partners this morning, right?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you to everyone for joining us today. We appreciate VHCC hosting this event, and I personally appreciate Tracy handling the technology for this event. I wanted to add that SVAM is a nonprofit agency based in Abingdon, and we serve all of Southwest Virginia. One of our goals is to improve the image of manufacturing and encourage people to seek careers in manufacturing. And that's why we do these panels. We want students to know there are amazing opportunities right here in Southwest Virginia. So having said that, I'd like to begin by welcoming our panelists. Melinda Roberts is joining us today. She is the Human Resources Manager at Scholle IPN Packaging in Chilhowie. Melinda, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and the products you make at Scholle IPN?
Sure. As she said, I'm Melinda Roberts. I am the HR Manager here at Scholle IPN. We are located in Chilhowie, Virginia, and our company, we basically make plastic bags. It's a very automated process. The plant is, we have to follow SQF guidelines, so the plant is very, very clean since we make a packaging product. Our biggest customer is Coca-Cola, just to give you an idea of what we are doing with our bags. So we have obviously a lot of other customers as well, but Coca-Cola is our big one. And what they do is they store the syrup in our bags. So it's very, very important that we have good quality and we don't have leaks and those type things. So that is what we make. And again, it's automated machines, very clean, climate controlled environment. We currently have about 150 employees working on finishing up an expansion hire. We've got about 10 or 15 more positions to fill in the next 3 or 4 months. And as far as myself, I've been in HR about 29 years. I've worked for 3 different manufacturing companies. And so done a lot of hiring, a lot of HR work in my career. And I would love to see some of you students come and apply, come and talk to me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Melinda. Next, we have Martha Rasnick, who also works in human resources. She has a very diverse background, and she's a little bit newer to manufacturing. Martha, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and about what you're producing at General Dynamics Mission Systems? Oh, I think Martha's muted.
I was, sorry. My name is Martha Rasnick. I am the Workforce Relations Manager for General Dynamics in Marion. General Dynamics is a global corporation, so we are not only all over the country, but all over the world, which makes for some very interesting topics on some days, especially in the COVID world that we are in and how it's affected all the different locations I have worked in human resources for almost 30 years, but in manufacturing specific, only about a year and a half. Prior to that, I worked at one of Tracy's sister schools, Southwest Virginia Community College, as the HR manager there. So I do have a lot of HR background experience. At the Marion location of General Dynamics, we make things for the military. So at Marion specific, we make radones, which is actually that front part of a plane, and also some of the elevators and some of the flaps that help control the plane. In addition to that, we also make shelters for the military. And if you think about a tractor trailer, the back part of it, that's kind of what a shelter looks like, except the military can pick it up, drop it off anywhere it needs to be, and it's a ready-made office, hospital, whatever it needs to be in that particular situation. It's got all of its communication, it's all wired and ready to go for the military. So basically, we are a defense company, and there are portions of our location that has that top secret clearance level. So depending on which part of the plant you're in, that could play a part into what you would need to be able to work there.
Thank you, Martha. Finally, we have Anthony Dunak. Anthony is a machine operator at Atsumi Car Equipment. He is also newer to his manufacturing career, and he's going to be able to give us some great insight today about what it's like to be working on the shop floor. Anthony, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and about what you're making at Atsumi Car Equipment?
Yes, I'm Anthony Dunak. I attended Westfield Community College and received my associate's degree in machine technology. And I started here in 2017 as a machine operator. And we machined automotive parts for Toyota. And we make the hub and spindle for the Corolla, Sienna, and RAV4.
Thanks, Anthony. I do want to point out just how cool it is that these three companies we've just heard from really have huge markets and a reach so far beyond just Southwest Virginia. So I think that's super cool. Melinda, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to direct this first question to you since you have the most direct manufacturing experience. What I often hear when I hear people talking about manufacturing, this is students and parents and sometimes even educators, is that they think manufacturing is all men working on an assembly line in a hot, dirty factory making very little money. It's a very negative image, and we know this is not the case today. Obviously, Melinda, you're a woman in manufacturing, and I know that your facility is spotless. So can you speak about some of those misconceptions and what the reality of working in manufacturing is today?
Hey, Melinda, you are muted.
Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, obviously there are some misconceptions. It is taken a 180 turn in today's manufacturing world. The stigma of low pay, male-oriented environment, things like that, that was definitely the old industry. Today, for example, at Scholle IPN, I just checked my metrics and on the male versus female ratio, and we have 52% of female, and then the remaining is male. So we are pretty much half and half, 50-50. We have jobs that, as I said, it's very automated. It's not as much hardcore physical labor as you may have found in the past, because with all of the technical upgrades, machinery, things like that that's come into play, the jobs are much easier than what they once were. You've got the safety. The safety is a huge priority in almost every plant that I've I've been in this area. So you don't have to go to work worrying about going home, or you go to work and you come home in the same condition, basically. And if you do find something unsafe, the companies are willing to correct it ASAP, and they do not put you in harm's way. Another thing is just the overall, the pay and benefits are amazing now. Not only do you come in, even at entry level, you come in making decent pay, but I know at Scholle IPN, and I think other industries as well, we promote from within more so than we go outside when we have upper level positions. And, you know, whether it's supervision, whether it's maintenance, or whether it may be even a management level, we look inside, and if we have individuals with that could fit those positions, then we actually put them on a succession plan prior to and move them into those positions. And that's when you get into some really good money, and it's basically a career path, and it's an excellent future for young folks. And you are going to make the pay. You're going to have a great working environment. You're going to have your benefits, and you'll have a really good retirement when you leave. So I can't say enough about industry, because like I said, I've been in it almost 30 years. I started at entry level. And, you know, I've went from being an HR secretary to now I'm HR manager. So, you know, it can happen. You just have to work hard, put your time in, learn the business.
Yeah, that was great, Melinda. Thank you. Along those same lines, I'd like to talk to Anthony next. Anthony, since you're still pretty new to your manufacturing career, how has it been different than what you expected? Have there been any surprises for you?
The biggest surprises for me coming out of college was the style of machines that we had in college were more of a manual type machine, whereas when I started here, they're fully automated. We don't really have to handle the parts as much as I thought I would have, but it's challenging at times, but just got to take it day by day and just relax and not let it get to you.
Right. And as a follow-up to that, you took the same path that a lot of the students listening today plan to take. Do you have any advice for those students pursuing a manufacturing career or considering a manufacturing career?
Just look, speaking as a machine operator, like I said, it is challenging, but just take it day by day and be prepared and open to learn, you know, new machines and operations of those machines, because it will help out your future as an operator.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I know people considering a manufacturing career often think about is work culture. And Melinda, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but will you tell us more about the emphasis on safety and quality at Scholle IPN?
Sure. Yeah, this is definitely a huge part of our culture. Safety is our #1 priority. We have a ton of safety programs. It's actually put into some metrics, goals that we have to meet from our corporate level as far as safety goes. And just to give you an example, if an employee is working on a machine and they come across something that they feel is unsafe, they have the authority to shut that machine down and stop production and get their supervisor and do some brainstorming and try to fix that machine or fix whatever it is that's broken or that they deem as unsafe. So we really stand behind that. And we also, it's peer-to-peer recognition. In other words, if a team member, which is a coworker, sees another employee possibly in harm's way, or maybe lifting something they shouldn't, they will approach them and say, you know, the next time just ask for help. You could strain your back. So there's a lot of engagement with teams and coworkers to help each other out, which is very, very helpful. As far as quality is our second priority. And with that, Scholle IPN bags are kind of like the Cadillac of the bags. In other words, we don't sell the cheapest bag, but we sell the highest quality. So that being said, we have to maintain our quality. We have a lot of quality testing. We have a lot of, even what's very interesting to note and maybe interesting for you students is in our interview process, we implemented a program called TWI, Training Within Industry, last year. And part of that is with our interview process. After we phone screen, if we're interested to take you to the next level, you come in and you have to go through a practical. It's about an hour long. You go in a room, there's some simulations, you go out to the machine, you look at the environment, gives you a chance to look at us a chance to look at you a little closer. We do, in the simulations, we give you instructions. It might be, trying to just figure out if you can read a tape measure, or we will give you explicit instructions on each area of the simulation. And we're not really watching to see if you're perfect in how you complete the tasks that we're asking you to do, but what we're looking at is your attention to detail. Are you listening? Are you following instructions? Things like that. Those are the soft skills that we really need to know before we hire someone to put them on a machine to make sure that our quality is going to be good. So safety and quality are definitely two top things at Scholle IPN.
Yeah. Outside of quality and safety, I know people are curious about automation and technology and how that is changing what careers look like. Martha, when I toured General Dynamics Mission Systems, I remember thinking, one, that the products were huge. I was so surprised with that. But two, the work I saw people doing was so precise and seemed so high tech. How has automation and technology impacted your business? Oh, I think you're muted again, Martha.
I keep forgetting to unmute. As you can imagine, parts for the military have to have extremely high quality. We would not want to send parts for a plane and be the reason that that plane could not function the way it needs to. So the quality is immense. There is a lot of automated stuff, but I was amazed truly at how many things we still have that's hands-on. There's a lot of the things that we do that requires that personal touch, the hands-on work. When we hire people, when you come on board, that first week is you're in a training center. You do your onboarding and then you're in a training center so that we can make sure that you have the skills that you need to be able to be successful and produce that high quality product. The training center that we have is actually fairly new. It has been up for right around a year now. So we're really pleased with that. It has helped quite a bit, and it's really good to give those experiences to the employees so that they know what they're going to be doing. But it's also a time that first week we get to talk about the soft skills as well. So are you showing up to work on time? Do you take your lunch break the way you need to? And of course, in today's world, are you maintaining the safe distances, wearing your mask? Those sort of things that are health related to make sure that we're able to continue and function on.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, what you do sounds pretty high tech, and you kind of talked about this a little earlier, but how do you think automation and technology have impacted or changed the way you do your job?
It really hadn't impacted it, but it's helped. With like I'd said about the automation, with how our machines work, we rarely have to touch our parts until they're at the end of the machine. So really with the level of technology and the automation, it's made our job so much easier and faster to produce a better quality part.
Yeah, absolutely. I often have high school students ask if robots are going to take over the world when I talk to them about manufacturing, but I don't think they're going to. And like Anthony says, it's for help, right? It's not to take your job away.
Right.
So this has been a lot of great general information about why manufacturing is a good career to have, but we all really want to know the tangible benefits that these jobs will offer us. Martha, I'm going to start with you. You have a diverse background and a lot of HR experience. Can you speak to how the pay and benefits in manufacturing compare to other industries?
Sure. When I first saw the information that you was going to be asking us about today, I actually went out to do a Google search to see if there was some documents there that help support that. And there are, of course. There is an economic development study for manufacturing that you'll find that manufacturing, depending on the field that you go in manufacturing, is actually very high paying. So it's in the writing, it's the proof that you might need to see. But I would say in our area that they are really good jobs. They have great benefits. I have just been amazed by what we talked about earlier. All those stereotypes that we think about with manufacturing is not the case these days. You can have a good career with it. At General Dynamics, we are a union facility. So that union kind of dictates what you start off on, when you get your raises. It accounts for raises in each year of the contract, so you know exactly what you're going to be making and when. They also are really good about doing compensation studies. Since we are a global company, we have to make sure that we are competitive out there and that we're paying those good salaries. So there's a lot of compensation studies that's done on a routine basis, and not just within the US, but with some other places as well, specifically Canada and Italy. We have some locations there that are pretty big. So I think that manufacturing can give you the career that you're probably looking for. And I'm just amazed at the people who spend, Melinda had mentioned 30 years at different manufacturers, but still in manufacturing. So you will see that a lot. People are making careers in these jobs, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, I love the way that you said career. It's really not just a job. It is a career that you can move up through. Melinda, when you are hiring someone for these careers, what do you look for in a candidate? And will you touch a little bit more on the soft skills you talked about earlier?
Yes, well, obviously you do have to have a certain amount of technical skills, and that's typically validated in our practical process in our interviewing. But more so on my side of it, the part of the interviewing is I do focus on the soft skills. So one of the main things that I'm looking for is, do you have a can-do attitude? Do you have a really positive attitude? It's not the most important thing to me if someone hasn't ever worked in a factory or doesn't know a lot about what we're doing here in industry. But if they have the desire, if they have the desire to learn, you know, that willingness to learn and willingness to be a good worker, show up, as Martha said, those are what I call, I have a list of teachable and unteachable skills. And that's an unteachable skill, just your work ethic, and just your overall desire. And like, even if you're coming in with the practicals, going through that process, we're also looking to see how, are you asking questions, or do you present a lot of interest in the job? Or are you just sitting there ho-hum? You know, I'm looking at the body language, I'm looking at everything. We also look for people that want to be team players, not someone that just wants to go in the corner and work, come punch in every day and go home. We want people to, as one of my plant managers in the past said, bring your brain with you to work, because we want them to be engaged. We want them to be feel a part of the business. So team player. And then we also like the flexibility. We like people that want to branch out and learn different things. And, you know, there's a lot of different personalities that you'll be working with, coworkers and all, and just the ability to get along and so forth. So, but probably the biggest soft skill is the desire to learn and the can-do attitude, being positive.
Yeah, that's great. And that's what I hear from pretty much every manufacturer that this question gets asked. Before we move on, just a quick reminder to be leaving your questions in the chat box. We're going to answer those in just a few minutes. I'm seeing lots of comments thanking our panelists, which I also appreciate our wonderful panelists today. But be sure to leave us your questions as well. Let's talk about how to get started in manufacturing. Martha, I'm going to start with you because I know you all offer internships. So will you speak to the availability of those internships and any on-the-job training or continuing education you all offer?
Sure. We do offer internships. However, with the union, we have to be really careful about the type of internships we offer. So the internships are more along the finance, supply chain, safety, those sort of areas instead of actually on the floor working. We do like to encourage employees to continue their education. So we have a really big continuing education program that we participate in. And as part of that, we have a MLP program and an ELP program. So it's manufacturing leadership program and then an engineering leadership program. With the manufacturing leadership program, it's people who are getting ready to graduate college. So we bring them in and they get to do rotations throughout manufacturing. So they get to sample a little bit of it all. And if they want to go on with their education, we pay for that next educational step, be it a master's degree or the bachelor's degree, whatever degree you're going into. So not only do you get that experience, but you're getting your next level of education paid for, which is phenomenal. I wish I would have known about that when I was paying for my school. So it's really good, and it's really great to see that companies do encourage their employees to go on. I think that's really important. And having an educational background, you know, I'm always happy to promote education to employees, and it's been really funny. A lot of employees will come to me and talk about education, so they realize the importance of it as well.
Yeah, I will add, I realize how much you all invest in your people, because I always say I have never met a single person from General Dynamics that I wasn't impressed with. Just very professional. Everyone is always so well spoken. So I know that you all really invest in your employees, and I think that's wonderful. Melinda, how does Scholle IPN handle that? Do you have internships on the job?
We do. We actually, obviously with COVID this year, we weren't able to do our have our program during the summer months. Typically, we get the college students during the summer, and we have from human resources to technical maintenance, quality. We pretty much place them all over based on their interest and their college program. We have that, and we offer a tuition reimbursement program that employees can take classes, and then we reimburse them for that, and try to put them on a succession plan to move them into either some type of leadership or whatever their desire would be. And we also, even employees that are in positions, I know we've done this a lot with our technical employees and hourly employees. We send them all over for certifications to improve their skill sets, and we have different tech levels, and they can move once they get certain skill sets and certifications they can move into, which gets them quite a bit more money. So yes, we invest a great deal in our employees as well. I think that's very important with manufacturing, and I think that helps with the longevity of the employee and employer relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I always hear about Scholle is how happy people are to be working there. I've never heard a bad thing about you guys. So
yeah,
obviously you are definitely investing in people.
Yeah, we really try to keep a family-oriented environment as well. All of our plants, we're a global company too, and all of our plants are pretty much 300 people or less, to where we can maintain that type of culture and environment.
Yeah. And when you're taking advantage of this training and education, there is a lot of room for upward movement in manufacturing, like Melinda mentioned. Anthony, when I spoke to my contact where you work, I told her exactly what I was looking for in a panelist, and you were the person she thought would be perfect for this. And when she told me about your education and qualifications, she said you have great potential for moving up. So do you feel like you have those opportunities to move up and get promotions at work? And is that something you're striving for?
Oh, definitely. At least here, there's always room for moving up, and the different departments here, production, quality, and maintenance, and there's always growth in those departments as well. And I actually last week got promoted to team leader, and I'll soon be starting training on that. So that I feel like there's definitely the opportunity to improve.
Yeah, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And as we're talking about people moving up and branching out at work, Martha, do you see value in your employees holding multiple skills or credentials, like, for example, holding both a welding and a machining degree?
Oh, absolutely. I think the more that we can train ourselves to be ready, to be flexible, as Melinda was talking about earlier, that is so important. So when you hold those different certifications, that opens you up to be able to experience different jobs and to move up the line. So it's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Tracy, would you like to take a minute and talk about the opportunity to get those credentials at Virginia Highlands Community College?
I would. I'm not on mute. I thought I was on mute. Thank you, Mandy. I've actually got a couple of my colleagues on the line with me today. I wanted to make sure that that they were here, that they were available to talk with students. One of those is Michael McBride. Michael is our academic counselor here at Virginia Highlands Community College. And Michael, can you talk to us a little bit if we do have a student that's in our welding program, and maybe they do have an interest in also learning how to machine parts, or maybe we have a student in machining that would like to go on and learn some, some maintenance skills. How easy is it for students in one of our industrial programs to be able to come back maybe next year and enroll in another program?
Thank you, Tracy. It's one of the easiest things you'll ever do. Just like right now, if you're out there, you're in a program, right now we're enrolling for the spring semester. It works the same way. If you decide to graduate from one program and move to the next, you reach out to us in the Campus Connection Center, and we're going to help you transition. All we do is fill out a form, transitions you from one program to the other, and then we enroll you in those classes and keep you moving forward. Now, one of the cool things is, often we talk about if you're doing welding, let's talk about machining. If you're doing machining, let's talk about welding. And if you're doing electrical, let's talk about HVAC and vice versa. But any class that you take in machining that is required for welding, that's just going to follow you over. You're not going to need to retake that class. We're going to go ahead and give you the credits for it. And even on top of that, we want to branch out a little bit and say, we have an industrial supervision program here that a lot of students don't realize we have. But if you're going into machining, welding, HVAC, electrical, you can add on this. It's going to get you some public speaking, some human relations and leadership development, business law, marketing, management, and then the OSHA 30 certification. So a lot of you are getting the OSHA 10 basic entry level safety certification. We'll bump that up to include some specific safety topics, reporting, communication, exit strategies, so forth, so on, for supervision purposes. So, we've got things out there that if you want to stay in your field, but you plan to move up into management, or is your goal to move up into management, we have programs to help you with that. Even on the non-credit side, such as the Six Sigma program, where we're going to train you to identify risk and errors and combat those before they even happen, so that your area of expertise is more productive, or the area you're seeing is more productive. So we have a lot of opportunities. It's very easy to transition you into those. It's as easy as reaching out and saying, hey, Mike, I want to do this now. We'll tell you exactly what that means. Look at your plan for the next semester or the next year, ever how much it takes. Tell you the class that's going to transfer over, enroll you, and you're ready to go. Show up on the first day, move forward. Pretty
Great,
simple.
Michael. And I love hearing from these companies when I hear them say things like they like to kind of promote from within and grow from within. I love hearing that from these companies. So students that are out there, if you want to talk to Michael, if you want to, talk about enrolling in another industrial type program, over in the chat, I've put our link for a ready to enroll page. You can go there, you can schedule an appointment to talk with Michael, or better yet, put your name up in the chat and tell Michael you'd like to talk with him. I'm sure he'll reach out to you directly and schedule some time for a one-on-one advising session. One more quick question. We also have with us Nancy Hope today. Nancy is our coordinator for financial aid. Nancy, for those students who are currently enrolled and they may make a decision to come back, can those students apply for and receive financial aid to help them pay for those courses?
Right. Well, hello, everyone. Now is a great time to be going back to school with a lot of the resources that have become available due to the COVID virus. Obviously, if you're wanting to attend this January, you would need to complete the 1920 FAFSA using your 2018 taxes. And if you plan on attending starting next summer or next fall, you would complete the 2021 FAFSA using your 2019 taxes. Out on our website at the financial aid section, we have created some really great resources. There's an electronic flip book to help you complete the FAFSA, as well as some forms and troubleshooting guides that we hope will be a resource for you. Right now, with Megan Copenhaver on this Zoom also, the state of Virginia just released the Reemploying Virginians. They're calling it REV, and it's a training voucher, which you might want to look on our website and read the information about it to see if it might be something that you apply for. It is a last dollar funding for some, but it is for the Pell eligible student. It is really a good deal and more cash in your wallet. There are resources out there. Virginia Highlands Community College obviously processes federal and state funding, and the state funding is very generous. And for those who we can cover tuition for, we always try to. If you are interested or need help filling out the FAFSA or need to talk to somebody about the financial resources that are available, you can go to the 24/7 chat line that we have on our website, and one of my staff members can answer any and all of your questions. If you need specific help about filling out a FAFSA and the resources aren't, you still need some help, we can set up appointments to do individual FAFSA Zoom meetings so we can get that completed to see what you qualify for.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Michael. Mandy, I'll kick it back over to you. I think we do have just a few questions in the chat. I think there's some questions. I think we've got a few welding students that are asking about some welding opportunities. If we could take a look at some of those questions. And I think we're going to have enough time. A couple of our industry representatives, both Melinda Roberts and Martha Rasnick, are going to be able to go over into a Zoom breakout room. They're busy ladies, so we do need to have them wrapped up by 12 p.m. But I think we're going to have a little bit of time to assign you all to breakout rooms after we do our question and our answer. So feel free to go to the chat if you would like to talk with Melinda or Martha in a breakout room. Let us know who you want to talk to, and when we get finished with our chat and with our questions and our answers, I will assign you all to those breakout rooms. Don't be afraid to go in there and talk to them. These are wonderful ladies, and hey, they're giving us their time today, and we want to go over there and tell them hello and introduce ourselves to them.
All right, thanks, Tracy. We do have questions about welding. Martha, do you have many welding positions at General Dynamics, and do you hire many welders in?
We do have some welding positions. Throughout this year, we've probably hired 4 or 5 additional welders. We've gotten some new contracts in that has required us to do that. So we do have several positions in the welding area, and it is one of the positions that is represented by the union. So the pay would be dictated by the union contract.
Okay. And you advertise on your website, correct?
We do, and it's kind of an unusual situation. You do apply online, and that information actually doesn't come to us on site at Marion. It goes through talent acquisition. They are really based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. So I have a lot of people call me wanting to check the status of their application, and that's great, fantastic. I don't mind it at all. So, but I can't look at it. So when someone calls me, I have to send an email to talent acquisition and let them know, and they do make notations that they did call the site. So I would still encourage you to contact the site or for any job that you're applying for.
And Martha, how about the electrical field? Do you have any positions for that?
We do have some positions for that as well. The radones and the shelters that are produced are completely wired and ready to go when they leave us. So it's really important that not only do the communication aspect work correctly, but that electrical side does as well. So there are some positions there. I don't recall hiring any this year, but please do keep keep a lookout on our website for those, and anything that we would have would be shared there.
Okay. Melinda, what about electrical positions for Scholle?
Actually, we just hired 3 in the past month and a half. They go into our technical department. We don't have any openings at the moment, obviously, because we just filled them, but from time to time we do, and it's very, very nice pay scale and very, very good working environment. So we advertise through, of course, our Scholle IPN site, and also you can look on Indeed. We always put those type positions on Indeed, and I do access that. So if somebody does call checking, I can pull it right up and chat with them at that point. So.
Okay, great. Anthony, do you know if you have any electrical positions at Atsumi?
I don't believe so.
Okay. And I would like to point out that for Atsumi and General Dynamics and Scholle, we also list their job openings on SVAM's website, which is swvam.org. And you can go on there and look for manufacturing careers.
I'll share something there. We maintain a VHCC social media page. It's VHCC Career Connection, and I stalk SVAM, and anytime they post, I think I stalk General Dynamics, Mission Systems, and Scholle too. So anytime I see of those postings, I also share to that VHCC Career Connection Facebook page. So if you're not a part of that, go ahead and click join, and we'll just bring them to you from all direction, won't we, Mandy?
That's right.
Great.
What about tours? I know General Dynamics, you do have some off limits areas, but you all do give some tours, don't you?
Yeah, we do. It takes a little bit of preparing for those to be anywhere in the location, in the site, any of the buildings. You have to be a U.S. citizen. So we have to have copies of birth certificates, passports, whatever, to prove that citizenship. One of the things that I found extremely interesting, not this past summer, but the summer before, when you could actually visit places, we had General Dynamics Canada come down. They were not allowed into the buildings because they were not U.S. citizens. So even though they were a part of General Dynamics, they still were not allowed to go back into the plant. So they had to meet in the outside office, which is the HR area. But we can do some tours. We just need a little bit of time to prepare for those.
Okay, sure.
Martha, I think that question came from Johnny King. He's our precision machining instructor. Would it be okay if Johnny or I just kind of reached out to you about that?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Melinda, what about Scholle? You all do tours, don't you?
Yeah, we actually have done a lot of tours. But right now with our pandemic policy, it is still limited to only essential workers and essential visitors. I look for that to be changing, hopefully, in the upcoming months. We do have some things in place that I think that at least we could bring people in and show parts of the facility and keep the social distancing and mask wearing and that kind of thing. But we just aren't quite at that point yet. But we do a lot of tours and welcome them. We've actually hired some people from our tours from the local vocational schools and all. So yeah, we definitely welcome them when we get past this COVID-19 crisis.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll call you too, Melinda.
Yay, sounds good.
Just scanning through the questions, Tracy, it looks like everything else is company specific. Do you want to go ahead and break off Melinda and Martha?
I think we can do breakout rooms. We've still got about 11 minutes. I think Michael McBride had one more thing that he was going to share real quickly. And while he shares that, if students and guys go to these breakout rooms and talk with Martha and talk with Melinda, they're great. We've got them here for about another 10 minutes. So go ahead and please go to the chat. I see 1 or 2 people have told me about a breakout room they want to go to, but just go to the chat and tell me what breakout room you want me to assign you to. And when Michael gets finished, we'll get you in there.
Sounds great. I want to say real quick again, thank you to our panelists. Thank you, Anthony. This was Anthony's first panel and he was amazing as expected. And Martha and Melinda are old pros at this. And we, not old pros, just pros. You're pros.
I'm already paranoid about that.
So thank you for doing that. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Michael?
Yeah, Tracy, thank you. I just wanted to quickly say, Melinda said something earlier that triggered me, and I wanted to speak out very quickly about it. Those of you who are students or who are becoming students, Melinda mentioned that she really looks at soft skills. She reads body language, so forth, so on, and Martha's shaking her head. Those are things that we start seeing. Though Virginia Highlands does not offer a specific class at this time in soft skills, there are people here trained to help you. These soft skills are innate. You're born with them, but oftentimes we push them down. If we're not using them, they get pushed down to the bottom of the stack. There are people here such as myself, such as Tracy, Megan, that can help you identify these soft skills and bring them back up to the surface and build upon those. We can do assessments from Myers-Briggs type indicator to true colors, emotional intelligence. That's going to help you learn more about yourself, more about others, how to gauge your emotions, how to gauge the emotions of others, work with people. But we'll help you with, your interview skills, your timeliness and time management, and anything that you need help with. We're here. We'll help you hone in on those skills that you already possess, but may not know how to tap into and utilize properly. Come to us, reach out to us, let us help you build on those.